guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. So we're going to do another alumni video. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? If everybody could be so kind as to maybe, turn that phone sideways, smack that like button really quick, let the word get out there that we're live and having ourselves a conversation. Also, I forgot to share this. I should probably share this. Twitter. Let's go live right now. And then, yeah, if you guys have like some kind of a means to share this, I would appreciate it. You know, here's what it is. X-Men. That's good enough. Boom. And then boom, it's out there. Okay. It's out there. It's on the ether. Okay, let's go and have ourselves a conversation right now. What's up, everybody? So let's get talking about the only Dawn of X book that's out this week. Yeah, there's an Excalibur out there. I have no interest in looking at it. Here's issue number 9 of X-Force. This is more than enough to have ourselves a conversation about and really go deep into the crap that happens in here because holy crap. Holy crap. Yeah, this is. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that, Reno Noir. I had my my microphone up. Okay, so Dawn of X, Dawn of X, X-Force. There is an Excalibur book out this week also. I looked at the cover. I never even put my freaking fingers on it. Not actually, no, I did when I showed it off in the This Week in Comics video on Tuesday. But anyway, yeah, dude, I have no interest. And look, I didn't open it up, nothing. I have no interest in that whatsoever. So here, we've got a really freaking awesome cover. Look at Quentin down here. Look at Quentin. He's all like, he's got the bandana on. He's like, yeah, that's right. I'm out here. You know how he got that opened up costume? Because he pissed off Wolverine. I'm not joking. So let's get into who made this comic book. Then we'll break into a bit of the story in and of itself. Greener Pastures. This issue is called The Moral Jungle. I hope you guys read issue number 6 because I'm going to be talking a lot about issue number 6 again. Wow. So Benjamin Percy is the writer, Joshua Cassara on art, Dean White on colors, VC's Joe Caramagna on letters, Tom Mueller doing the design. Cover art is by Dustin Weaver and Edgar Delgado, and the variant cover is by Marcos Martin. Production is by Nick Russell. All right, so this is issue 9 of the X-Force. So we start off with, listen, at first I actually thought that this was really stupid. I'm just like, Wolverine and Daken, they're finally together again. We finally get to see Daken and they're just playing Russian roulette with each other. Now, this is interesting. Wolverine, like adamantium laced bones, adamantium claws, right? If he, initially, like, mind you, they're not adamantium claws, they're adamantium laced claws because they're bone claws, but they're laced. Somehow, I guess if he, schnicks, then it goes through the adamantium in his brain or on his skull and will still wind up penetrating his skull. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like so it's more adamantium there than in there. I don't know. You know what? Whatever, man. Either way, we didn't get to see it. Maybe it was just Wolverine's way of tricking him or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, so freaking he's watching his son put claws through his head and then he's got, going through all that pain and whatnot. If this wasn't his son, I would say it's actually kind of cool. For the most part, I just looked at it as, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't his son, but like to be entirely honest, okay, I was an infantryman in the army, and yes, we did do stupid things. We used to sit there and do the whole freaking knife thing and whatnot. Yeah, and if I had a healing factor, I'd go even faster. You know what I'm saying? But like, oh, accidentally cut my hand off. Oops, okay, no problem, it's back. So yeah, it was just really freaking. Surfa, actually, you have bones in your ear also. If you just look at it in general, it looks like there's no way we'd be able to hear. It's the eardrum tapping on the bones, the multiple bones in your ear that allow the vibrations to go through so you can actually hear. Sound is just vibrations. So no, there is no hole, like there's a hole out here, but there's no hole like inside the ear. So even that wouldn't work. but it's still up to his temple. So anyway, they're basically playing spin the bottle, and whoever the bottle points to gets the kiss of death because you get to put your claws through your freaking, like, it's really weird. And they keep on doing this over and over again, and everybody's betting on Wolverine. Like, I get it, it's a soldier thing. It's just this is with his son, and it's like nobody else is playing. So I don't know, whatever. I guess it's like when somebody tries to act like a tough guy, and I take a thimble full of, like a cap full of apple cider vinegar. I'm like, you guys think you're tough? There's the beginning. See what I do next. And they're just like, well, no, no, you win, you win, you win, because nobody wants to, drink the apple cider vinegar like that. Um, Big secret. I don't know what I would do next. Like what? Lick the floor? I don't know. But anyway, all sorts of goofy, silly stuff like that. Um, but and Jean Grey is saying, "Hey, let's calm down." Listen, here's the thing that I like about this, because Percy did have the Jean Grey thing afterwards, and here's where I think that this gets really beautiful, because she's saying, "Hey, calm down." Do you remember in issue 6 when Beast told her, "Hey," and this whole issue is going to be about Beast, all right? When Beast told her, "Listen, I need you to kill those tetrafluoronic things out there, those botanical symbiotes. I need you to kill those things." She's like, "What about the edict of kill no human?" He's like, "Why don't you stop worrying about silly little moral compunctions and whatnot and just do what I told you to do?" She's like, "Fine." Afterwards, he's like, "Hey, Jean, you did the right thing." And he's like, "Beast?" He's like, "Yeah." She says, "Don't patronize me." Like, she was pissed at Beast. Um, I'm going to tell you right now, between that issue and this issue, understanding exactly, or in my opinion, thinking I understand what's going on in Benjamin Percy's freaking obviously psychotic head. You listen to this guy talk and you're like, oh, he's the bad guy. If he was in a movie and there's a whole bunch of people running around and he opens his mouth just once, you know right away that's the bad guy. Nope, I already know the ending of this horror film. It's like it's a rom-com. No, it's a horror film because he just spoke. He's the bad guy. Like, there's no doubt. Nobody questions that. All right, Benjamin Percy's got one of those evil voices. He's the villain. All right. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, this is to me quite literally the best version of X-Force so far. I know I'm going to have some detractors. That's cool, man, but our tastes are different. And some people's tastes are only in their mouth. For me, I think that if you're going to have an actual CIA style, because that's what they were talking about. When you look at the solicit for this comic book, oh, everybody's got their version of CIA. X-Force is Krakoa's. And this is exactly that. This is literally people going in, like, trying really hard to show nobody's a good guy. And the higher you get, the worse it gets. All right, I'm going to get back to Beast in a major way. First off, we've got this part where this is the last happy stuff that you're going to see. You're not going to see anything else happy in this book, because these, like, they're all just hanging out there. They're making volcanoes on each other, and Apocalypse is sitting down, like, drinking, and like, freaking, you see Sebastian down here, like, puking. Like, everybody's just chilling out and whatnot. You got, like, the different tables of everybody hanging out and whatnot. They're still doing the big freaking Krakoa party thing. It's like, hey, man, get laid. All right, get laid and get paid, because we're mutants, baby. Let's do it. Dazzler's still singing and whatnot. Like, everybody's just chilling out, man. So, what do you call it? You have, what do you call it? Here's, like I said, still looks like a happy scene, right? No. No, here's that Manchurian Candidate thing. Remember the most recent issue of X-Force, right? Where Domino died, and she tells Colossus, listen, no matter what happens, don't let me forget. Don't let them erase the memories, okay? Because that's the idea. They want it to be so that, hey, all this crazy stuff and whatnot, I want you to make sure that you do the, I want you to make sure that you remember how I died, and you make sure that when they resurrect me, that I still have these memories. I want to remember everything. It's part of who I am. Wolverine goes and mentions that later on in the book. This is who you are. Like, you're walking around acting like you were fixed, but the problem is you were never broken, hun. And I love that about Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's a perv, but he does have his moments, and she's just happy as happy could be. Nope, nope. It was obviously forgotten. There's a big old blank spot there, and I must be better off for it. She was adamant, adamant that she wanted to stay like that. She wanted to remember all of the pain of her body being filleted You know what I'm saying? Her skin being filleted while she was conscious. She wanted to remember all of that. Being crushed in the train with all those other fake dominoes, the DNA, mixed in with them. She wanted to remember all of it, and she's forgotten about it, and she's happy about it. I wonder who made that call. I wonder who made that call. So, like that's actually that's about as sad gets. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely freaking terrifying. Anyway, whole bunch of uglies. They're getting into with each other. Sage goes into a full meltdown and starts whooping people's butts because like people are starting some trash. Black Tom is freaking out a little bit. He just wants a little bit of a vacation, right? Something's going on with Black Tom. We're not sure what. He's sitting there with his big old octopi tentacles, like his sushi drink, whatever the heck that is, and he's chilling. And all of a sudden, like Krakoa is looking at him, and he's like, "I don't want to be bothered." The question is that actually Krakoa? Because I'm not entirely sure. It might be. It looks like it is. But let's also not forget that tetrafloronic crazy stuff that happened in issue number 6. Dude, this and issue number 6. Issue 7 was a great way to just kind of go, hey, forget about everything you just read because I'm going to make you remember everything you just read. I loved it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So he's seeing something in there. We think it's Krakoa. Okay. It might be. Anyway, all this crazy stuff is happening. He's like, oh, and he bumps into Mr. Ugly. I forget what his name is. He's mentioned here. Gorgeous George. Whatever. I could care less about Gorgeous freaking George. Anyway, so Gorgeous George's like, oh, you want to bump into me? Well, let's get into a bar fight. It's like, dude, are you kidding me? So yeah, the ass whoopings begin, and he gets jacked up big time because they got a healer, so they're good. Anyway, Wolverine looks like he's about to get into it also because it's like we all got to jump in, we all got to have this fight, right? Beast grabs and he says, "I have to interrupt the revelry, but your violence is needed elsewhere." So they go into the big logbook. Now this is where it gets fun. First off, we've got to have ourselves well, basically what happens here, it goes into everything that happened over in Tetra Verde, okay? Tetra Verde, if you remember from issue number 6, this is the country that you've got. It's a South American country made up, completely fictitious, right? But someplace in South America, and these guys are like, "Hey, we're going to try and do this thing where, like, we're super duper poor, but we're going to, put all of our scientists together, and we're going to try and make something totally awesome happen. What are we going to make awesome? We're going to try and make some kind of a botanical garden kind of thing where we can actually have some awesome stuff." And the president, I forget what the president's name is. It's kind of important, but not really. Anyway, so the president, who is just like my country is super poor right now. We're in massive amounts of debt. Life sucks for my citizens, and I'm trying to make things better for my people. Okay. And in the process of doing that, he talks to some scientists. They say, listen, we think we've got a potential breakthrough that we can make in the botanicals. Okay. So we can make all these cool drugs. Well, after years of them doing this, all of a sudden the freaking the mutants, they start up Krakoa, Genosha Part 2. Like we've got Krakoa, and we're going to try and do some cool things here, and we're going to try and put out these drugs. We just want you to recognize our sovereignty. These guys were willing to recognize their sovereignty anyway, but here's the thing. You know how sometimes you watch like movies, at the very least, I think everybody's watched a movie. You watch some kind of a movie with like, the drugs and whatnot. It's like, hey man, you're a cop. And it's like, no, I'm not a cop. It's like, no, 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 I think that you're a cop. Cops aren't allowed to get high off of this stuff. It's actually illegal for you to do that. So now I can get you the only way I can get you for entrapment if you're a cop is if you actually sample some of the product. It's like, what? No, 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 no. I never get high off the supply, man. I want to keep myself. It's like, listen, you're going to do a bump or I'm going to put a bullet in your head right now. That's basically what I'm likening this to, because Tetra Verde was basically, we'll accept your sovereignty, but we don't really want your drugs. We're trying to do our own thing over here. The problem is Beast said, okay, not cool. Because recognize our sovereignty, you're just going to take that away if you turn around and you don't take our drugs. We need to actually get your people addicted to the drugs. We need your people on these drugs. And if you're not going to be on the drugs, we're not going to accept you accepting our sovereignty like that. And they're like, oh, well, that's not cool. They said, well, we're going to have to agree to disagree for right now because we're actually on the part of a breakthrough. So Beast decides we're going to send in the X-Force. We're going to handle a couple of things. One of the ways he handles it is, and this is really important, and I'm going to reference back to a picture that I have here. I'm in charge of interpreting all data for Krakoa. Now, why did this happen first off? The reason why Beast is in charge of all this is because Professor X died. Oh, he came back. But that was, mind you, that happened in the first issue of X-Force, right? X-Force #1. This is volume 6 of the X-Force. Professor X was assassinated. Cerebro had a bullet through it. They fortunately had another Cerebro. Of course, they could make another Professor X like that. Death doesn't mean anything on the island, right? Everybody's talking about death doesn't mean anything. But I said this, and here's a proof. Death is going to mean something different. Death here meant the X-Men thought that nobody can get to us. These freaking guys show up out of nowhere. These bioorganic life forms, they show up out of nowhere. They're weapons and all they're built for is to kill. And they were able to get to Professor X. Somehow they infiltrated the island. They got the caterers to give him some kind of a tracking device so they'd always know where he is, so they could find him anywhere. We couldn't mobilize on our own island, our own defenses. We couldn't mobilize quick enough because they used Domino's DNA to get through our defenses. Bruh, I'm saying, we need to handle business. And Beast is saying, I am going to be in charge of this not dark arts. That's the other Beast. that's the Bendis version of Beast. I'm going to be in charge of these dark ops and these black ops operations, basically. And I'm going to make sure the safety of Krakoa. Premeditative action. It's like saying, in America, we have the Department of Defense right now. It used to be called the Department of War, but you play with the words a little bit. We've never had to defend our shores, right? Except for like Pearl Harbor. That was literally before World War II for us. Saying we've never had to defend our shores, saying? Or at least we've never succeeded in it. We could talk about 9/11 if you want, but whatever. We've never succeeded in actually defending our shores. So a long time ago, we changed the Department of War into the Department of Defense because it looks cool, but yet we're still going to war. Premeditative. We've got to stop world peace through starting wars. That's exactly what Beast is doing here. I want it to be understood from the very beginning. Beast is the bad guy. We could argue semantics, but Beast is the bad guy. We always wondered how Dark Beast came about. Maybe this is why. You know what I'm saying? Beast is straight up. He is not the good guy. He's spying on everybody, including Krakoans. He's spying on everybody. And when you're the sole voice here, and they talked about this in issue #6, when you're the sole voice of, decision making, the hardest decisions are not made in a committee. That's one of the things that Beast said in issue #6. You don't realize just how much that means until here. So he says, I am in charge of interpreting all data for Krakoa. That means I control all information. And if some of that information is damaging to mutant kind generally, or X-Force specifically, I arrange the cleanup. Excuse me, this is still Beast talking. With bribes, planted evidence, false news reports, memory erasures. What just happened to Domino? With memory erasures, whatever it takes to hide our work. A helicopter crashed because of a rotor malfunction. A lab burnt to the ground because of a bad circuit. Really, I would prefer to avoid trouble altogether. But that requires me to be in a state of constant anticipation, like a father chasing after his toddlers, forestalling every steep drop of sharp edge and choking hazard. Beast is straight evil in this. Hey, Ario Anandito's in the chat. What's going on, brother? In case you guys aren't reading Atlantis Attacks, you should be. the art in there is spectacular because of Vampiro. Okay, so check this out, man. Beast is straight evil. All right. What you call it? He's going around doing all these little clandestine missions with X-Force, leading to do whatever, and he's literally answerable to no one but himself. Even when his teammates are like Jean Grey's on it. Remember I said, if you remember, I said, why is Jean Grey even on here? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Same person, and since Xavier molded Beast, this version of Xavier could easily corrupt our Beast. Yes, he could. That could be the case. It's not bad. It's not bad. Yes, they are the same person, but from different universes. Essentially, here though, it's something different. Remember, um, what's his name? Sinister is here also, so it could actually be the machinations of Bar Sinister. Who knows at this point? You know what I'm saying? A lot of that information, the genetic information, is actually coming from Sinister. So maybe Xavier really doesn't know what's going on, unless he were to deeply probe Beast, which why would he have any reason to probe one of his most trusted people, right? Like he's one of the founding members for crying out loud. So who else to sneak in a little something something? Anyway, so what do you call it? Beast's big thing was I need to start thinking 5 steps ahead of everyone. When you start thinking that you're that smart, because look, Beast is smart. Okay, nobody's going to question that. But when you start thinking you're that damn smart, that's when you start making really stupid mistakes because you start getting cocky. All right. And that's exactly what's happening here. Because in issue 6, there was the big thing with, oh, look, here's the Terra Verde, situation. Let's go there. He's going to make an announcement. Professor X was there. Black Tom Cassidy was there. Hey, all that green, why not bring Black Tom? I even made the comment. I'm like, how come Cyclops and or Gorgon is not there? Because Gorgon should have been there. Instead, Black Tom was there. Oh, it's a good thing he was there? We're going to get back to that in a minute. So afterwards they start having that conversation. Anyway, basically these Terra Verde botanical symbiotes, they showed up. Remember the scientists there, they were pissed off that the president was like, listen, we're gonna have to make a deal with the X-Force because we're running into all these different problems with our labs and whatnot. Circuit breakers are going bad, so the labs are burning down. Beast is doing this stuff. One of our helicopters crashed. Hey man, all sorts of bad things are happening. We're trying to fix things here, and we're on the verge of a breakthrough. And we're looking at this breakthrough for this tetrafluoronic technology as being almost on the scale of atomic. What does that mean? It means that it can be weaponized. This was all explained in issue number 6. This stuff, that whatever they're doing, this is supposed to be for healing. We can heal people through botanical means, but the scientists also found a way to weaponize it, hence making botanical symbiotes. Now, what does it do to people's minds? Don't know yet. But in the meantime, these scientists are the ones who are attacking. So they're super smart. They're not talking, but they seem to be super smart. They seem to be able to arrange certain complicated issues. Hey, the son was really like, Dad, why are you working in with these guys? Why are you working with these people, huh? I hear you, Jamal, but not true entirely, because Beast actually points out that he is answerable to no one. He states he's answerable to no one. Maybe they're messing with some stuff, whatever, but he's just like Reno is saying here, he's usually pretty humble. And this is simply not the case. This is not the case. So anyway, whatever's going on here, the Tetra Verde country, they decide, listen, we're on the verge of bankruptcy here. Beast keeps on screwing up all of our stuff, even though we don't know it's Beast. Beast is screwing up all their stuff, making all these, backwards, making them go backwards in the research. Like, listen, we're the whole country's about to go bankrupt. I have to look at this economically also. I'm sorry, all you scientists who have given your life to all this stuff, but I'm going to have to take the deal with the X-Men because we need some kind of a help. We need some kind of help with what's going on. So the scientists became they uprose. They became botanical symbiotes, and they went on and they started attacking the president. They made this big, in issue 6, they made this big thing where it's like, hey, we're going to come after you, Professor X. And they're like, no. So what's his name? Black Tom came over there and he's like, hey, you don't even try and mess with us. Otherwise, Black Tom, I've got the power of, botanical symbiotic stuff also. It's my secondary mutation. And afterwards, he talked about, we didn't see the actual fight. But Beast was sitting there listening as they were explaining everything, as Black Tom was explaining everything. And it's like, oh yeah, they ran. It's like, Beast is like, well, what happened next? Oh, they ran away. They didn't even want to start trouble. They were scared of old Black Tom. They ran away. And Beast was dumb enough to believe him. We see that by this issue. He believes him, because these guys, all we saw was them stopping. We didn't see them going, oh no, it's Black Tom Cassidy. No, they just stopped and they turned and they left. and they didn't go after Professor X. But then they found out later they weren't interested in Professor X. They weren't even really interested in the president. They were interested in the president's son. The whole thing was a distraction. Oh, guess what? They were not only thinking that, but going back to the book Dune, plans within plans. The trick was to do this and make you think that it was this, but actually we were just going to kidnap the son. Oh, but we're thinking ahead of you because we already had the son. The son arranged, says, hey, act like you know this so that you can kidnap me. But in reality, I'm actually on your side the entire time. And because they found out, they went to that one big temple. Yes, the temple, the Mayan temple that we see here in this issue. So there's this, the big temple. He's standing on top of the temple. He's like, yeah, what's up? It's like, we're here to rescue. I don't need rescuing because I'm part of the plan. They're like, oh, crap. He tricked us. He was actually in on it the whole time. They were kidnapping him at his direction. Oh, crap. And there's the big fight and all this crazy stuff. He got taken in and Beast went in. And mind you, Beast, who thinks he's so damn smart and thinking 5 steps ahead of people, he just got played by a bunch of damn plants. All right. Beast got jumped, punked big time. He's so stuck up in his head. He thinks he's so smart. He got punked and he's still getting punked. He's still getting punked because if he thinks he's thinking 5 steps ahead, they're 30 steps ahead. They are so far ahead of the game. These are a group of scientists, not just one scientist. And they're thinking. They're really thinking about this. So he says, hey, man, saying, I'm going to take it upon myself to personally interrogate. This is still in issue 6, to personally interrogate the president's son. And it's going to be very immoral. In fact, it was so invasive interrogating him to get the information that he wanted, that he thought he wanted, not knowing all of the questions. And we're going to see that in here. Not getting all the questions that he wanted, or not knowing the questions that he needed to ask, not even being aware of those questions. He decided to interrogate him through really illicit means, left him in a persistent vegetative state, which is like, there's too much plant talk here. I hope everybody's eating their spinach like Popeye, right? Anyway, so he's left there. He's like drooling from the mouth. He's a vegetable at this point, literally and physically. He's in a vegetative state. He's a vegetable. So now Knucklehead just goes and he's like, oh yeah, whatever. But then we see, and the what do you call it? Tetraverde signs the deal with the X-Men. Oh, we win. Beast is like, we win, yay, we win. Except we got to see that in that vegetative state, he, like, I don't know, melted and coalesced and went outside the window and became this new thing. He looked a little bit like Proteus, except in plant form. And he's got this big smile and he leaves. So now in this issue, the white page, we find out that over the past couple of weeks, over the past 2 weeks or so, the lights in Tetraverde have been going out. There's been not necessarily blackouts, but just people dying, cities disappearing, essentially. Not disappearing, but the lights going out because people no longer inhabit the area. It seems to me right now like the country has now been extinct of humankind. That seems to be the case. That's how bad it is. And we know for a fact it's because that one thing escaped, the president's son. The president is dead. We found out, in here, because they go in to try and figure out, what do you call it? The gate is closed. And what's his face gets his face busted open. Quentin Quire, Kid Omega, gets his face busted open, and he comes back with his I love Quentin Quire. I love Quentin Quire. He makes his freaking psychic, his telekinetic Gatling gun, and blows up. But this is what was blocking the gate. It wasn't magically sealed. It was physically sealed on the other side. So they have to punch through it. And then they come in and they see all of this death and destruction. There's carnage everywhere, and they find all these bodies, including the president is up here also. So everyone and everything is freaking dead. All these guys are dead. There's this stupid thing right here. This thing right here. It just basically says what do you call it? Morning sunshine or something like that. It's only, you could see that it comes off of the thing. So you're reading, it's like Morns suns, like that. So it's like, I guess, morning sunshine. Anyway, it's like, cool. Basically, it's just saying Krakoa has its own mugs now. Good to know. Anyway, but Beast is sitting there talking. He's all completely by himself. There's nobody else in the control room with him because he's answerable to no one. And this is basically what's happened to Tetra Verde. They're all sorts of screwed up. And like there's the temple again, and there's all this Cthulian freaking vine stuff up there, right? All throughout the town and everything. They've destroyed everyone. The men, the women, the elderly, the children. Everything is dead. Well, not dead, because technically plants are alive. They're sentient plants now, essentially. They're all freaking wasted. Anyway, so then we get to another freaking one of these things. And basically, it all boils down to exactly what I said. Plus, Beast thinks that this couldn't possibly had anything to do with me. I can't be responsible for this, right? Beast, through his manipulation, has actually gone and killed an entire nation. Think about that. Accidental or otherwise, Beast is responsible for killing an entire nation. Of humans, mind you. We like to talk about how maybe Sabretooth technically deserved to be put underground. What does Beast deserve? Because while Sabretooth has gone around and killed a whole bunch of people, including, like the Morlock Massacre, the Mutant Massacre with the Morlock sewers and whatnot, Beast has literally just committed the ultimate form of genocide. No one has in history has ever killed an entire nation. All right. We've never seen that. And Beast is responsible for the death of an entire nation of people. At this point, the ultimate war crime imaginable. Beast right now, if they understood who Beast was and what Beast did, he is literally responsible for being the biggest war criminal on the face of creation. Apocalypse in his evil days would be so proud. So proud of Beast. Make him Pestilence. It wasn't he Pestilence? Anyway, so the X-Men go, the X-Force, excuse me, Domino, Wolverine, and Quentin Quire go in. And this is kind of weird because the art is kind of weird. They're all having a conversation. All this stuff is happening. It looks like the animal is talking. He's not, but it's some kind of a like Floronic jaguar, right? And they're hanging out doing whatever they're doing. And the jaguar leads them into the temple. It's like, well, I think they were already going in the temple. So what's the big deal? That would make me not want to follow them in. But hey, Beast is telling them to go in. Meanwhile, they're completely ignoring the thing, it seems, because they're talking to each other about whatever. Like the conversation doesn't match what we're actually seeing in here. Mind you, if you're wondering how come Wolverine didn't notice it, one, it's made out of, Floronics. It's made out of foliage. You know what I'm saying? It's flora. It's flora and fauna. Fauna are life. It's now flora and fauna are the exact same thing in Tetra Verde, right? Anyway, it's a whatever. Anyway, he didn't notice it because it was also upwind, so he was downwind. So it was like, hey. Anyway, the thing jumps down and boom. So we see all sorts of bad things happening. These guys, like Quentin Quire's trying to run out. Quentin Quire's trying to get out of there really quick because it's really bad, and then he winds up getting pulled back in. He's like, "No, get me out of here!" And like, no, it's not happening. Like, it comes after him and whatnot, and it's like, ugh! And then he gets sucked. It looks like a Children of the Vault situation. This is the final page, isn't it? Yes, this is the final page. And he's getting sucked into the freaking thing by all these Floronics. Who knows what happened to Wolverine and freaking Domino, but he gets sucked in there. Meanwhile, we see Beast. He decides, I'm going to go over there, and this half asleep Black Tom, I'm going to walk over there. I'm going to grab him physically. I'm not going to have a conversation with him. I'm Beast. I don't need to have a conversation with this jackass. I'm just going to grab him by the nape of the neck, like a mama cat, and I'm just going to throw him in through the portal. Brilliant. But I've already explained that these things are smarter than Beast. They've already shown all of them together, unified, are smarter than Beast even thinks he is. He's going to go and throw them in there. Hey, thank you for the $2 super chat. Club Cosplay, the Nerds Night Club. X-Force equals CIA. That is above the law. 100%. 100%. And I'm not just talking about the freaking Steven Seagal version. Fear of death is worse than death itself. Nah, this is legit. So, what happens? Actually, that was Marked for Death. I don't know what the hell movie that was. Anyway, it was one of those Steven Seagal movies. So anyway, I think it was above the law. That's what it was. It was. I was right. The first time. So he goes and he's going to throw Black Tom in there. Now, why did he throw Black Tom in there? Because Black Tom said, And Beast, just on the face of it, believed Black Tom's story. They were afraid of him. They ran away. But again, if we go back to issue number 6 and we look at those pictures, they didn't look terrified at all. They just stopped. And they were like, yeah, our business is done here. And you didn't even realize what we were actually trying to do. And they left. I get the feeling that Beast is only making things worse by throwing Black Tom through there. Because maybe their ultimate weaponization is being able to get their hands on a mutant and now combining everything. So Black Tom is actually over there. Now, maybe that's the case, maybe not. I don't know, because a lot of these books aren't really in continuity with each other. If we saw the Juggernaut 5-issue limited series by Fabian Nicieza, I don't care if that's the way you pronounce his name. He's a jerk. To me, at least, he was a jerk. So, what do you call it? He's going to be running a 5-issue Juggernaut series. I'm not overly excited for it because whatever, but I'll read it. But the solicit is basically, hey, only mutants are allowed on the island, but Juggernaut's not a mutant. But his best friend is a mutant, Black Tom. So what's Juggernaut going to do? So Juggernaut wants to come over and hang out on the island and, with his buddy, but whatever. So maybe they're just going to keep it completely out of continuity. I don't know. I honestly don't know what they're going to do with this. But I mean, like, here's Benjamin Percy doing this and Wolverine. He's got 2 stories in the Wolverine book going on at the exact same time, and none of them have to do with this. So I don't know. I don't get it. I really just don't get it. But X-Force and Wolverine are the only 2 books that are actually being written that actually put Wolverine in a good light. So there's that. This is wild, man. This is absolutely freaking wild. Now we're all talking about this was definitely from Mark from Death. Every man want heaven, nobody want dead. Screwface. That really was unfortunately, it wasn't a real Jamaican, but hey, cultural appropriation. Still, it was really freaking good. I would watch that movie again in a heartbeat. Especially the chicken sacrifice scene. That chick was hot. Anyway, so this was a wicked freaking book, man. Like, this is just literally Beast is going full dark. I know that there's a lot of us who love Beast. I love Beast, but not here, man. Not here. Beast is straight up freaking Vol. Yes, exactly. Silver Space Centurion, who is a lawyer extraordinaire. His mutant power is lawyering. He threw a mutant that controls plants into a plant control environment. It seems smart on the face, but there may be a counter here. Exactly. That's the trick. It seems like this is the perfect character to throw into here. It's like, oh, they're plant people. These things were afraid of Black Tom. Makes sense, because on the face of it, like I said, on the face of it, Black Tom controls plants. Unfortunately, Black Tom is tired. Black Tom is freaking whatever. And you know what? Honestly, and this goes back to what I was saying before. It looks like it's Krakoa in there. Okay, it looks like it's Krakoa in that freaking sushi bowl that he was, looking in, this drink of grog or whatever. But all we saw was a plant thing, and Black Tom is being haunted by this thing. Is it Krakoa? Is it something else? We've also talked about how Krakoa seems to be having some really freaking wiki crazy freaking stuff happening, right? I think that this is actually the plant people, the tetrafloronic people. That's what I think. If it is Krakoa, then it's something evil on its face. Or maybe it's Krakoa trying to warn him. I don't know, but they can actually converse with each other. So honestly, like, I don't know what it is. I'm not here to tell you what it is. I'm here to give my speculation. But these nightmares that are keeping him awake, they're making him really weak, not paying attention to what's going on. And he's already crazy. So you just sent a very drowsy, groggy freaking Black Tom into a situation. It's not looking too good on the face of things. We might have to call in Plant Man. Anybody remember Plant Man? We might have to call in Plant Man to freaking help out with this situation, because this is really, really frightening. So, in general, let's take a couple of questions from you guys. But at least this issue was good and finally getting somewhere. I think that all the issues were pretty good. I really liked them for the most part. Some of it seemed to be going kind of all over the place, but yeah, wow, this was out of this world. Like, you get to see all the little, here we go again, here with the bad puns, but it was unintentional. All the plants that he would put all over the place, and look now. Look now. So they had to build up that Beast is not such a good guy. When you start listening in on other people's conversations, you start to get really conspiratorial in your head. You know, imagine if we could read each other's surface thoughts. You know, because we always think, yeah, this person, we always have good conversations, but I don't know what he's really thinking. Well, the thinking is one thing because that's the surface thoughts. What about like actually probing the deep thoughts, you know, the things that aren't on the surface? What about actually probing memories? You'd literally have to get a profile on every single person imaginable in order to understand their actions. Oh, crap. That's what these clandestine organizations do in the first place. And we've got 7 of them in the United States alone. I see if I can remember them all. There's the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, there's the crap. Department of Homeland Security, and there's 3 more, whatever. I'm not into that now. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of them. So, and literally, they try to get every single aspect of your, of your life available and make like some kind of a, account, some kind of a data record on each individual in order to try and see what are the likelihood of this person joining a terrorist organization or committing a crime or doing this, doing that, what level of crime, is this person likely to be like, a defector? Like they try to do things like that. And this is not me being conspiratorial. They're not sitting there going one by one by one, but literally it's like, oh, we according to the Patriot Act, they can listen to phone records. You know what I'm saying? So literally, it's not as opposed to they don't have that many people listen to all the phone conversations, but they absolutely do listen for keywords. So if you're on the conversation and all of a sudden, like too many times, you're bringing up too many keywords like terrorist, bomb, explosion, target, things like that. All of a sudden, they might say, "Hey, you know what? We just got like 14 clicks, from keywords on this one call. I'm going to listen to this call really quick live, what I'm saying? Or at least the recording of it. Who knows? But, what I'm saying? Like that's the way that those work. In this particular case, Beast literally gets to listen to the conversations all over the place because those stones that he did in what was that, issue 4 or 5? I think it was issue 5 that he was doing that in. Anyway, he was planning these stones with all of his friends, like, oh, hey, I need you to do such and such and such. Yoink, I'm gonna just leave this here and then leave. And then he goes to all these different nations and starts planning them also so that he can actually listen to everybody. Like, dude is just nuts, man. Dude is nuts. And I just made the list by saying all those words. Sure, I'm okay with it. Secret Service is just the name of all these individual areas. X-Men by itself is great. Yes, X-Men by itself is great. ICE is a little bit different. They're not quite the same. That's very specific, but yeah, ICE really doesn't work in that. ICE is fairly new also. They've only been around for a few years. And they really try to rely on the information from the local governments. But then you have places like sanctuary states where they're just like, we're not giving you anything. In fact, even non-sanctuary states are like, no, we're not giving you any information. Even the police forces, the local police departments, who sometimes are themselves racist, are just like, we're not giving you any information because we rely on solving local crimes by talking to some of these people. And if we start giving these people up, suddenly they're not going to trust us anymore. And then we're not going to be able to solve any local crimes anymore. So sorry, not interested. So yeah, ICE, I would absolutely not consider them a Secret Service organization. They're more or less just a bunch of jackasses running around. When can we get Donny Cates run for an X-Men title? If he ever wants to. You know what? We can't just like start throwing Cates at everything, right? I'm good with a whole bunch of different people showing up. And just, like right now, I'm really happy with what I'm reading. Department of Propaganda, I mean Public Relations. Hey, in the Green Lagoon, was that Celine that Strong Guy was with? Let me see. The Green Lagoon, the only happy scene in this entire freaking thing. Meanwhile, nobody knows what's actually happening behind the scenes. Let's see. Where was Strong Guy? Strong Guy shouldn't be able to miss. I love that the White Queen just comes waltzing in there and whatnot. Oh, I just noticed freaking, oh, what's his name from Wakanda? Crap, why can't I remember his name? Him there with the vibranium all over it turns out he doesn't actually need that, but hey, let's keep it anyway. Yeah, anyway, that guy. Somebody throw his name in there, please. What was this, Blob serving drinks? Who's this big freaking oh, that's oh, yes, that is definitely Celine. That's got to be Celine. I don't know who else they're with. But anyway, yeah, that's definitely Strong Guy and Celine. Like nobody else wears those kinds of freaking leggings. Because wow, um, was that Crucible? Yes, that's absolutely correct. Second Street. What's up, Second Street? How you doing, brother? Chris Claremont. Gene was drinking out of Apocalypse's tiki mug. I want it. Ooh, Gentle. Yes, thank you to all three of you guys. Silver Space Century, Power to the People, and Kletzar. Yes, that's Gentle. Like I really disappointed that I forgotten his name because I freaking love that character. Anyway, yeah, so everybody's here and whatnot. So anyway, that's it. That's pretty much it. So listen, I'm gonna try and provide more. I just put up earlier a spotlight on story for the darkness. That's the character that I wrote in the for the contest, the Top Cow contest. So that's not my story, but I wrote a different story, like a one shot thing, and hopefully, I get recognized somehow. But anyway, yeah, so stuff. Um, yeah, I'm going to try and put out a couple more spotlights here and there, but I'm also going to try and do a lot of writing. So I'll be active, but literally X-Force, that was the final comic book that I bought for this week. So no more individual comic book reviews. That's it for me. I will, however, try and do a couple of spotlights and stories to try and keep you guys entertained because, and myself, I guess. I'm more than entertained with my family. But for the most part, yeah, I know that it's stuck. It's tough being in self-isolation and whatnot and quarantine. But yeah, we're going to try and do the best that we can, and we're going to try and get through this. I'm going to put up a bunch of spotlights on stories so that you guys can actually enjoy yourselves and have some fun. Try and get some discussions. Hey, here's one way to do it. Let me give you guys the link to my Discord. And there's always like it feels like there's always people talking. At the very least, leave a meme or something to talk about, through typing. But I've got a chat room in there, and I very often see people hanging out in the chat room, just chilling out. And every so often, I jump in there also to be like, "Hey, what's up? You guys hear from me all the time? Let's hear from you." So, boom, there's that. Unstoppable Cockblocka is probably the greatest name in the history of creation. Will Cassandra Nova make an appearance in Jonathan Hickman's X-Verse asking for a baby mama? That's freaking hysterical. Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, like that's the big question because if she does have empathy in her now because of X-Men Red, Tom Taylor, Jean Grey did that to her, hey, maybe it'd be worth it because she is ridiculously powerful. Borderlands 3 in comics. There you go. That's one way to keep yourself busy. Can you do a live stream on the 80th Robin book? I don't know what I would actually do with that. I pretty much explained what I wanted to, and I don't really want to just give the whole thing away. I don't like being one of those kinds of channels, I'd rather you guys actually get, like, honestly, get it online. You know what I'm saying? Like, Comixology has it. The DC Universe app, you can watch Swamp Thing and Doom Patrol and stuff like that, and you get to read their comics for free, and they immediately put their comics on there. So there's that. Yeah. Oh, hey, you know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. Hold on a second. Let's have a little bit of fun here. Let's have a little bit of fun here. I'm going to take the Robin book. I'm going to take the Robin book because it's a freaking beautiful, amazing book. And let's see, do they have one of those digital codes inside? Do they have a digital code inside? I do not see a digital code. Can anybody tell me if there's a digital code inside? Because if there is, I will post that. I don't see a digital code. But I do know that there's a digital code in the X-Men book. So how about this? How about I will take this digital code. Let's see if I can get up nicely. Probably not. And I will try and put it in. Let's see. Am I able to get this thing up? That's the question. I don't think DC Comics does it anymore. Yeah, only in Marvel. Yeah, that's the problem. I had a feeling. Sorry, guys. I'm going to try and give the digital code to this comic. So you guys can actually go to the Marvel Unlimited app. I actually gave a link, a description, a link in the, to the Marvel Digital app earlier in the week for Marvel Unlimited on my Twitter. So you guys can actually find that there. So that, you guys can what do you call it? If you just read a bunch of articles in the app, then you can actually find a whole bunch of cool stuff there. Like a whole bunch of cool articles. You can play your video games like Marvel Puzzle Quest and Marvel Contest of Champions. And the farther you get in certain things, you type it in and then you get points for that. And the points are pretty cool because you can actually get a whole bunch of cool things that way. Okay, I hate how they freaking do these things. Like, come on, man. Life just doesn't have to be this darn hard. Anyway, I finally got the stupid thing up. And here we go. So here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. Um, duh, 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 duh. So this is TME. Okay, boom, posted in the Discord. Oh, yeah, it's someplace in the Discord. So you guys feel free to look for it someplace in the Discord. Hey, I gave you the link to the Discord. So if you guys want to take a look and try and find it someplace in the Discord. Oh, somebody already found it. Comics expertise. Wilfredo is all over that. Wilfredo already has the book. I doubt that he's going to use it. But if you guys want to try and find it someplace in the Discord, then whoever gets to it first and puts it through the Marvel Unlimited app, please just tell me got it, in the Discord, and boom, it's yours. So I know that everybody's listening and not typing at this point. But anyway, oh yes, please don't forget to turn the phone side. Look, 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 look. Here's your phone. You're watching me on the phone. Turn it like this, and then hit the like button, please. I would appreciate that. And aside from that, wow, oh, my phone wasn't charging. That's not cool. It says it was charging. Can you please show me? Okay, it looks like it's charging now. Not cool. I'm glad I looked at that. Anyhow, so yeah, try and do that. Was about to mention the likes. I appreciate that. Nero Black beat you to it though. Anyway, so yeah, jump on the Discord and let me know if you actually got the link and you get to see the thing. So free gift for anybody who wants to join the Discord. And then feel free to jump in and have conversations with each other. Seriously, get to have actual physical vocal communications with each other, talk with each other, hang out and whatnot. Alumni, it's a thing. And you never know. Every so often I jump in, I'm saying. And I will talk to you guys later because I'm going to go and watch season 2 finally of the Karate Kid. What was the Cobra Kai? Cobra Kai season 2. Haven't watched it yet. Actually, if the wife wants to watch, I got to watch the rest of season 1 with her. No big deal. I don't mind watching it again. So anyway, who did Professor Bell think was responsible for Domino's memory not being intact like she wanted after resurrection? It would have to be somebody way up there. So that's actually a really good question. But Professor X is usually one of the people who make sure the memory gets over there, right? So I wonder who's actually responsible for that. I didn't mention that, but the memory was messed up. I'm simply going to leave it out there like that. I'm going to leave it out there like that. But we did, however, say that Beast, he has been doing memory erasures with people. Now, he doesn't have psychic powers, so maybe he used some kind of a device to do it. I don't know. Maybe he tricked one of the other X-Force members to do it. I don't know. So what if we found out that he manipulated Jean Grey into erasing that part of her memory? So anyway, yeah, there's that. So I'm going to break out of here now. Guys, stay safe, stay indoors. Seriously, no joke. Like I know you hear it all the time, but actually physically wash your hands with soap. The more you know about the coronavirus disease, yeah, wash your hands with soap. That actually gets rid of all traces of it. And heat does not help. There's a big, stupid misinformation campaign out there. Oh, heat works. Heat doesn't. If you look at it, it's all over the equator. Everybody in the equator is reporting massive amounts of cases. So it's not heat that's helping. Heat is not going to destroy this. Corona would, that would usually happen, but not with this because it's already manifested past virus into disease format. It can survive on surfaces unlike a regular virus. So yeah, please be careful. Okay. Stay informed. Love you guys. Be safe. I'm out. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.